Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Brintis and I like to read a lot. And today I'm giving you my reading update, actually for the last 2 weeks. So it's been 3 weeks since my last video, and I was only planning to be away for 1 week, but then, things got hectic and I wasn't able to get to film an update for last week. So here I am telling you about all the books I read in the last 3 weeks, basically, or 2 weeks really, and there are not a lot of them because those are huge books that I was reading. But the first book that I finished, and I finished it like a week and a half ago or so, something like that, was The Last Chronicle of Barset by Anthony Trollope. So this is the last book, book 6 of 6 in the Chronicles of Barsetshire. And these are books about, so every book, I mean, they're kind of semi-interconnected. You do get some of the characters like making an appearance in like books that are not, where they are not necessarily the main characters. And, so it's kind of interconnected standalones in a way, but also it's, the last book I feel is a lot of the different plots from different novels, different books from the series kind of come together, and yeah, it's a great series, and this book was so lovely. I think that it's possibly my favorite of the 6, quite possibly. I think book 5 was the Small House at Arlington was also a big favorite of mine. So it's going to be probably very difficult, or if possibly even impossible, to kind of rank them. But this was a fantastic ending to the series for sure. It's about so there are obviously there are a few different storylines, and so one includes the bishop of Barsetshire and his relationship with his wife. There is, of course, a love story, a poor girl, a richer man who are in love, but it's not just that she's poor, it's also her father, the curate, is accused of theft. So there's all this thing about, the stigma of being the daughter of a possible thief, and that's kind of the third, this curate, the perpetual curate, I think is his title. Is it Crawley? I can't remember names. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so there are these different kind of story plots going on. And then, of course, we have the warden, who was the titular character of the first book in the series. He is quite prominent in this book, and his daughters. And yeah, it was just so nice. And I really liked how Trollope kind of tied up these different kind of stories of people, of the characters. And so there are some happy endings, which is lovely. A lot of his books are kind of romances. So it's lovely that there were some happy endings, but there were also some not happy, or at least more realistic endings. So it was kind of a very, I don't know, he does it so well. He does it so well. And yeah, I've given every book in this series, I think I've given every book 5 stars. Because it's just fantastic. Like, it is just such a good series. And I've enjoyed every single one of these books. And I can't wait to read more by Anthony Trollope. If you want to know more about his books and get maybe more professional reviews or someone who knows a little bit or is more articulate than me, you should check out Katie's channel at Books and Things, because he's been doing like Trollope May, I think, or is it Trollope Summer? I'm not sure, but she's been doing a lot of videos on him. She's read all of his novels, which I think are 47, and she did a great video up talking about his different series, so the Chronicles of Barset, and then also the Paladin series or something like that, which I think are like more. There's a prime minister. There are ministers in Westminster, members of parliament. I think that's gonna be my next step going forward, is to read that series. Yeah, I can't wait. We'll see when I get to it, but I have a lot of plans for summer, but it's definitely most likely going to include some what's wrong with you, Emma? Yeah, some Trollope. So this is Emma, here's Emma. Anyway, that was the Barsetshire series. Fantastic. The Barsetshire Chronicle, sorry. Really good. Absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it very much. And then, people. Yes, Emma, you too. You're also people. I finished The Stand by Stephen King. Finished it on Friday. And today I'm actually filming this on a Sunday, so the 7th of June. And yeah, finished it. So I'm gonna try to tell you how I liked it, tell you my thoughts without putting spoilers. But I really enjoyed this book. It took me a while. I started reading it in March, so it took me 3 months to read. It's 1,200 pages, so it's a chunker. There was I found that the first kind of part of the book, when the virus is hitting and people are dying and nobody knows what's happening, was very gripping for me. And then there is this kind of part where everybody is moving west, and either to Boulder to meet up with Mother Abigail, or to Vegas to meet up with the Dark Man, and west or north or whatever, I suppose wherever they were, but they're going, the main characters were on the East Coast and are going west. That part was really interesting, but maybe less interesting than the first part, for me at least. And there's I really enjoyed the POV shifts in the first part of the book, where all of them were experiencing, going through everybody dying except them, and all over the US, and it was just very fascinating to see how different people dealt with it in different ways. And then everybody's kind of moving, and you are realizing that these are kind of the normal good people in a way, and those are kind of the normal but bad people. And some of them not normal at all, very abnormal, horrible people. And I did not like those POVs as much. Those characters were really interesting characters, but I felt that I didn't like, some of them were just so horrible. It was hard to read. And then the part when they are in their separate kind of colonies in a way, in Boulder, trying to build this community with people continuously moving into it. And then in Vegas, where everything is everything works, but everybody's scared. There's very much fascism quoted over there. And then The Stand, the last part of the book, when people, take a stand and there's a battle and all of those things. And hope I'm not spoiling anything. I really like that. I was nervous about the ending of the book because I've heard that Stephen King is not always good at writing endings, but I really enjoyed this ending. I thought it was very good and very, very well written. I enjoyed the writing, the story, the plot, the characters. I really enjoyed this book, and this is a 5-star for me. Even like there were parts like sometimes this very graphic descriptions of sexual assault, of people with disabilities or people of color, so it's not for the faint of heart to read. Like, don't read this if you're a snowflake, basically. But you obviously have to keep in mind that it was written in this late 70s, 78, I think. And so I always feel like it was published in 78, but I think it was 78. Oh, I remembered. So obviously, keep that in mind. But, this was so good. And I will tell you that the last, 300 pages, I could not put this book down. And it was a problem because it's huge. And I was just trying to read it, killing my shoulders, but really good. And then to the books that I'm currently reading, Charles Dickens's Dombey and Son. I'm actually almost done. Like this, I'm here. So this is the rest that I have left. And this is a book. Okay, I think I'm not going to talk too much about it because I think I want to just give you a full review of it or my thoughts on it when I've finished, because I don't know how it's going to end yet. I'm hoping that it's going to end the way I hope it's going to end, but I will say that I'm really enjoying it. I'm not sure if I enjoy it as much as I have his other books. I think this is the 7th or 8th book of him that I read, but I've really been enjoying it. And so I'll talk about that next week. I should finish it by next week. And then today I started this book, The Bandit Queens by Parini Proff. I'm reading this as part of my doing a double duty. This is a book that I owned on my shelf, so this is part of Read What You Own challenge, but also the diversity book challenge. Because I actually don't think I've ever read anything by an Indian author that takes place in India. This book, everybody was reading this a couple of years ago when I bought it. I think I bought it in 2024 when everybody was reading it. It was published in 2023. And I'm on page 46, so just started it earlier today. We'll see. I have no idea how I'm gonna feel, but it's starting good. So far I'm intrigued. And so these are the 2 books that I have on the go. And when we'll see, I'm not sure. I think I have about 8 hours left of the audiobook, so I know that I will finish it this week. I haven't really decided what I'm gonna jump into after that. And I think I'm gonna do a separate video where I'm gonna talk about kind of my loose reading plans for summer, because I do know that I want to take part in Big Book Summer. And of course there's Jane Austen July. And I'm also continuing to read in my Dickens project, the book diversity bingo challenge, and maybe some more Stephen King as well. So, and of course, these 2 shelves are my TBR, books that I own that I haven't read. So also want to continue to try to read through that. But like I said, I think I'm going to do a separate video talking about that. But so those are the books that I finished, and these 2 that I'm continuing to read for the week. If you've read any of them, please let me know in the comments so we can have a chat. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.